Welcome to Absurdly Nerd. Today we're going to be making an argument for 9 games, 3 apiece, for 2023 Game of the Year. Since the Game Awards just ended and Elden Ring won it, we wanted to see who had the potential to win it next year. It's all speculation, obviously. We believe Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom has the best chance of winning it. Yeah. So we're just going to kind of make that the bar. And so it'll kind of be 10 games, at the end of the day, 10 potential Game of the Year winners for 2023.
I'll go first.
Okay.
So my first pick, kind of a hipster pick. It's a niche title. It's the first one. It's a first in its franchise. I guess not really, but
it's a new IP.
First big. No, it's not a new IP. It's Hogwarts Legacy.
Oh, well,
it's just. I know it's a hipster pick. We haven't really seen. There's no proof that it's going to be good, but
the gameplay looks really good.
Yeah,
I don't think it's a hipster pick.
The only part I didn't like is the voice acting's a little.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think exploring the castle and that looks really good. I think it looks really
the
good.
character customization is not as deep as I want it to be. But
See, I think it's perfect.
I thought the customization looked pretty good. Like, I don't think it was just presets. You could adjust things and stuff. I thought there was enough there. Like, I played a lot of games recently where I was like, thought it was lacking,
I don't think
it
Demon
was better
Souls
than that.
customization. I think that's the bar.
That is the bar. That and like Fallout 4 had really good.
What?
Demon Souls customization.
Demon Souls has really good customization.
Cyberpunk's is not bad either
compared to other FromSoft games. But no, I think Hogwarts looks like they love that property.
Yeah,
and that is the potential for Game of the Year.
Honestly,
that matters that they care that much about Harry Potter and all that, because it will feel like it's a lived-in world.
Yeah.
And that was the two things that was super relevant in the top 2 this year.
Yeah,
like the people who made Elden Ring, the people who made God of War, they love that fucking shit.
Yeah.
They love that game.
So what's your argument for it over a game like Tears of the Kingdom?
I think it reaches more kids. I think Tears of the Kingdom is going to be a little bit more difficult. It's, Breath of the Wild didn't hold your hand, but it wasn't like super hard. You had to figure it out. And I think Hogwarts is going to be, it's got a built-in fan base. Obviously, so does Legend of Zelda. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like
Harry Potter
is more casual. Everyone's
top
seen
5
the movies.
product in the world,
and it's not exclusive. Hogwarts Legacy is not exclusive.
That's big too. I like those points, and I do think it has potential for it. I think the 2 things that hold it back, if I'm arguing against it, is J.K. Rowling.
Yeah.
People aren't going to forget that as bad as I think they should, because this game isn't associated with her other than she created the property.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And also seeing that latest, the gameplay from it, the voice acting was so bad that I'm like, if they're not going to get this better, and like. It isn't even that the individual was a bad voice actor. It's that
the voice doesn't fit the character.
And the lips weren't synced up right.
That's how Watch Dogs Legion, not a good game, but it's just like they did computer generated people, because you can recruit anybody.
Yeah.
And then they had like 4 voices, and then they just raised or lowered the pitch, and it's so annoying that they did like that
is awful.
We can tell.
I hate in a game where like. The cinematics in this game are going to be fantastic, and that's going to be one of its strong points. So, like, conversations in a cutscene are going to feel like a movie, and then you're going to be doing your side quest stuff, and they're just going to be standing there like, NPCs, because that's what they are, but make it feel a little more, involved. Like, Fallout's bad about that, but they don't do the cutscenes to give you that contrast of, I'm in a game now, and I wasn't a second ago. But that's a good pick. My first one I talked about on our Game Awards show, my most anticipated game, and that is Rocksteady's Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
And I think the potential here is, like, Arkham City won from a lot of outlets. And we're talking about the Game Awards proper when we say win Game of the Year. Like, IGN is not for nothing. Like, I count
That's
that
the
too.
second biggest, I would say.
Yeah. But I think Arkham Knight also was in the running, should have been in the running.
Was, I think.
People detracted for some story stuff. But I think the reason it didn't get as much credit is because Arkham City was so good, and then this was just kind of the sequel, the third game. But Suicide Squad's a brand new thing with so many new ideas, and just we've never seen this in a game with Batman of being a villain, and they're not afraid to go there.
Yeah.
In the latest trailer, they showed Batman
Snapping
killing someone. Yeah. And I was like, dude, if they're gonna do that, like as a comic book fan, not just as a video game fan, I'm excited to see them push the boundaries. On some,
if they're willing
some
to
plot
take
lines.
risks. Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm coming around on it because at first I I thought it was going to be too much like Avengers or Gotham. Well, now Gotham Knights, but I think it's going to be a really, really tight story.
That's what I was saying.
And like, it just looks good.
It'll be story first and not be
Yeah.
gameplay mechanics first.
Yeah,
Like,
but the gameplay looks unbelievable.
Yeah, it does.
The one
It looks
before
like
this,
Sunset Overdrive.
But
Yeah,
what they haven't like really focused, like that's a good point to make. Like in the run up to Gotham Knights, they were focusing on all the gameplay mechanics. They were saying all the gameplay mechanics that it has, and then ultimately they just built a bunch of game mechanics into a game with a decent, like a okay story.
Yeah,
like,
no,
but see, this game is story first. It looks beautiful. I mean,
And
they're willing to take risks.
These 4 characters look like totally like they could be their own game. Like you could play a whole game as each one of them, and it would feel different. Like King Shark feels like a beat 'em up character. Captain Boomerang is his own thing there. Like he's got powers and stuff. Whereas Deadshot, or is it Deadshot in this?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if it was him or what is it?
Deathstroke. Idris Elba is.
I can't remember his name.
No, not Killshot.
The one that.
It's
Anyway, we'll think of it in a little while.
Shit.
But anyway, like that feels like a FPS game or a third-person shooter game.
Yeah.
Like, and it looks legit. And then Harley's got her swinging it around and everything. Like, it looks wild.
I'll tell you one thing I noticed, and I didn't get far enough to Gotham Knights to really have an opinion on this, but it looks like as a Suicide Squad, the 4 characters are traveling together.
Yeah.
So when you do get a cutscene, it's still
Makes
them 4.
sense.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like you're not missing anything by playing this character over this
Right.
character.
Yeah, and what's wrong with having them together? Like,
Yeah.
they're a team.
Yeah. So like if you're playing Captain Boomerang and I'm playing as Harley Quinn, like separately, not playing together,
Yeah.
we still get the same story beats. So
Yeah,
like,
it
it's
makes
a
sense,
more
yeah.
concise story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Gotham Knights really rode the you can jump in and just play on the other side of the map if you want. It's like, I mean, why would I play with them if I'm not playing with them? Like, I never got that. I like the opportunity if we're in like something like Fallout to go and explore and do stuff.
It's when it happens organically. Like if you were to explain to me that we can do that, okay, whatever. It's like Saints Row 2 when I first played it with my friends. We didn't know that we could go the opposite
I did not know
sides of the
Saints
map.
Row 2 was multiplayer.
Yeah,
that go up.
Me and the twins played it all the time, but
Yeah,
it's just like we ended up on the opposite sides of the map, and we're like, oh, we can also do missions,
But I think the only, if I'm making an argument against Suicide Squad, is that this type of game, the 4-player co-op game, never really gets the kind of pop. Like, because sometimes they build it around needing that to get the full experience.
I hope they don't do that.
I don't think they will. Rocksteady's so good. They know how to make a single-player game.
Yeah.
Surely they can turn it in, just open it up to being 4 players. But I think if there is something that holds it back, maybe that's what it is. That someone's like, oh, I didn't have friends to play it with, which is sad. Get some friends.
So what's your game?
Mine would be my first one I'm picking is Final Fantasy 16.
That's a good one.
This is the best that Final Fantasy's looked to me in a long time. Even like I love 7, but I like this medieval setting, and the combat looks really good. Where it would beat Breath of the Wild, I say the story is going to be bigger, and like you're going to actually know the
Cinematic,
Yeah,
it's giving off Game of Thrones vibes a little bit.
Yeah.
It looks really good, and
It looks so
big
anime. I love it.
the kaiju fights. Are awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what could take it past other Final Fantasy games. Because I think like when you look at it, before they showed the kaiju stuff, it was kind of like, okay, it's another Final Fantasy. Like it just looked Victorian. I was like, okay, I don't really know why I'm supposed to be that excited. And then they showed the kaiju fights and everything, and it gets real deep with the anime style, just chaos happening.
I think they took the criticism of 15, where the story, you just kind of jump into the middle of a story.
Yeah.
I think this one is going to be told from the start to the finish. There's going to be no bullshit.
Yeah, in the new trailer, they kind of set it up like that.
Yeah.
Like the reason your character is the way he is because of a reason that you'll be part of. Right? You'll know why.
You're not jumping into this middle of a story kind of.
You're not just like waking up and your dad's dead.
Yeah.
I'm known to not be a big Final Fantasy fan, but this one has grabbed me more than any of them because I love the all-out war. Like when they show enemies in groups running at enemies in groups, something just it ignites in me. It's my Lord of the Rings upbringing. I love that clashing of 2 giant entities, and then they do that with the kaiju as well, 2 giant entities. I think the argument against it is just Final Fantasy 15 was an 8, and like it's the same team.
You get memes from the dialogue and Strangers of Paradise. Like, this is a brand new game that came out this year, and the dialogue is still crappy. You know, like, I do kind of worry about that.
They do have a problem with writing dialogue. It is always a little.
And maybe it's better in Japanese.
I'm sure.
Could be,
But how many times can you write, I'm here to kill chaos? Like, come on. Like, all the chaos stuff. They had to have felt like, okay, let's rein it in a little bit. Let's be a little more subtle. But that's not the same team, luckily.
Yeah, this is the 14 storyline team. So
I trust it more, And again, 15's good. It's just it didn't really. I think if they get the gameplay right, that's what does it. Coleman, what's your second one?
My second one, Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I think what they showed at the Game Awards really pushed this one over the top for us. I said it earlier that I think it's the safest pick to beat Tears of the Kingdom, just because it's a character everyone loves. Everyone loves Cal Kestis.
Yeah.
Everyone loves Cameron Monaghan. He seems to actually care about the game. The story's great. It's got Dark Souls mechanics, and it's, then they're bringing in fan service, like you can make your own lightsabers, and they brought in the Kylo Ren lightsaber and then 2 lightsabers, and it's just, there's a story there that's kind of, because at the end of the first one, Darth Vader shows up, and then you're like, how are they going to make another one? And this one, it seems like he's older, he evaded Darth Vader somehow, and now there's a whole different story. So that's cool. It's a whole different story in the Star Wars universe. It's not leaning on the fucking Skywalkers.
What I want out of this one is to not have to wear a poncho.
Give me new customization.
No, you don't
I think they're
like
doing everything bigger and better in this.
Yeah.
I just got tired of unlocking clothes, and it was always a poncho. I don't want
Slightly different. Some of them were barely different. But they built out so many new mechanics in that game. And I was just thinking, this came out, like the end of November when it came out? 2019.
It missed a boat of,
It missed that year that I think it could have. It may not have beat Sekiro. It was right there, I think.
I personally liked it better than Sekiro, but that's because I'm bad at Sekiro.
Sekiro is a very clean game. I honestly, though, when I think about Fallen Order, I think I went into it expecting it to be broken because that's where I was on EA at the time.
Yeah, honestly.
Nothing broke for me in that game, but I do remember seeing people say that there were some buggy things in there because they put that game out really fast. But I think that's the argument for it, is it might have won it that year or at least competed. And this year is a lot better with the way it's looking, so it's a little harder. But I think it has a chance of making that leap of like a Borderlands 2.
And Respawn, I've come to expect good things out of them. Like whatever they put out is quality.
Like, they've yet to fail. Yeah. Like honestly, I can't think of a game that wasn't beloved by the people that played it.
Yeah.
Oh, my second one is Starfield, and this could go badly. It definitely could. I am a big advocate for Bethesda because of the freedom they give you in their games.
Yeah.
I don't know if the industry is still there on it. Like coming off of Fallout 76, it's going to take a near perfect experience. And I think with the scope of this game, there's going to be a lot to point out that's like not going to be perfect.
Yeah.
But I think the scope of the game and how much they're pushing the boundaries of having this many places you can explore. I know No Man's Sky's done it, and they've kind of gotten better. Like they've almost perfected it, and it's hard to say they'll do it better than that. But No Man's Sky is not Fallout. It's not Bethesda, mechanics, and the RPG-ness of that is not as good as Bethesda stuff.
It doesn't have the characters that are deep as
right.
Yeah.
My dream is that this game comes out, and I know what they've shown us isn't this, but is that some of those planets are almost Earth-like, and so you're getting a Fallout-esque thing, with this procedural, however they're doing it, generated, galaxy universe, that you're going to come across some things organically that aren't mission related, and it's going to be a civilization living on this planet, and it's going to feel really cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll land that way. It could just be that you're landing on a bunch of rocks.
But I'm just really worried.
It's a valid worry too.
Yeah, I think they make games for decades. They want Fallout 4, they're doing some kind of DLC for. And that's 7 years old.
Well, it's like Skyrim. I mean, people still play Skyrim.
Yes. I respect that, though. They're like, we're not going to just push a game like a Gotham Knights or Saints Row that we want to sell a lot at first, and it doesn't matter if it doesn't sell after that.
The showing of this wasn't for me at all. I'm still going to play this game. It's Game Pass. Yeah. It's a big game. I plan on playing it, but just like the stuff that they focused on wasn't for me, and I think that's my problem. It's the base building, not for me. Yeah. The exploring all thousands of planets, that's not what I want to do. I'm more into the interactions, the the built-in stuff.
Yeah,
like the
show
story
me
stuff.
unique storytelling that they're known for. Show me some funny quests. They didn't show that. It felt kind of dry with the interactions. Show me the weapons, because like Fallout always had cool weapons, and Elder Scrolls has cool weapons, but in a different way. I'm just going to use Fallout. I'm going to use Fallout as the example. I want it to be some weapons like Outer Worlds. I know this game wants to be more realistic.
Yeah.
But if there's an infinite universe, you can say that there's some really wacky anti-gravity weapons and stuff like that you could use. Show me some stuff like that, and I would have been in.
It's also it's the people who made Fallout. There will be some inherent wackiness. Like in Fallout, you can walk around and get abducted by aliens. One of the DLCs in Fallout 3 was an alien DLC.
I thought that was ain't there aliens in
There's aliens in New Vegas too. Yeah.
That's the only time I saw them. Yeah, because they flew down and attacked me one time.
There's a whole. You get into the mothership on Fallout 3.
And that's another thing that bums me out, and I swear I'll stop after this. Is that it's all human characters in Starfield.
The aliens are not, like there are aliens that are like monstrous, but they're not talking to you. They're not civilized. And that's a bummer. When we've played Mass Effect, and we know we love that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But no,
everyone wants a Chewbacca.
But this is our vision, so like
I appreciate that. But my argument against it is that what if it comes out and it's NASA simulator? Like if it's that, I'm not in, and I'm not going to have that much fun with it. But
see, that's the only thing I am worried about is the flying. I don't want to click a bunch of damn buttons. Yeah. I don't want to Kerbal Space Program build a fucking. I would love to build a ship, but I don't want.
I think the building looked pretty intuitive, and I thought it was good in Fallout 4 personally.
Me too.
I love the idea of building bases on different planets and coming back for resources. Like that's cool to me. It's like, my planet. Like it's this empty rock, but it has some things I need.
What if you go to this swamp planet that's empty, but it has this one resource? So now you build like a little swamp house.
You got to make a trip there.
Yeah.
That's like Star. What the hell is that game called? Star Citizen. That's the idea there. They went too big, and it doesn't work for most people. And anyway, but that's what they wanted to do. Build houses all over the universe, and you'd be able to travel there. I'm done. Eric, what's your next one?
My next one is Hades 2. This got me really excited seeing this last night, hearing the music, and I just can't wait, because if I wanted anything from this studio is another Hades. That's my favorite thing that's come out of that studio, and I think this has just as much potential to be a 10 out of 10 experience like the first one was.
And it seems like the story is pretty straightforward, but you know that if you played Hades, you know that there is twists and turns.
Layered.
The first Hades is you just want to get out of hell. You just want to get out of hell. And then it twists and turns, and there's some other things. So this one, it seems pretty straightforward. Like you're Zeus's daughter. Yeah. And you have to protect Zeus, or you have to rescue Zeus.
Well, you're going against the Titans, I think.
From Kronos.
But her carrying a scythe is Kronos' weapon is a scythe, so I don't know if she could be a daughter of Kronos or something.
She's trying to kill him, but I mean, it could be that's what.
Yeah,
maybe they misled
well, at
it.
the end, she said, "I'm coming, Father."
I'm coming for you, Father.
That could be what it is.
Yeah. Kronos' kid, because the scythe. Yeah, it's like Hades. You're gonna.
That would make sense. Yeah, you have to kill him. Yeah, that's awesome. If you hadn't picked this, I would have picked this. I saw that you wrote it down. I was like, okay, I'll move on. Hades is one of my favorite games ever, and it's already won Game of the Year. Yeah. So, why couldn't this one?
Why couldn't two?
But also, that's kind of the argument against it.
Is it
a lot
just
of times
more the same?
Right. A lot of times, that's what I kind of.
And that's a big thing that held back Ragnarok this year. I think personally why it didn't win is it's too much of the same.
Same with
for me. I like the story and all that in Ragnarok. Yeah. Personally, it's one of my favorite things. But I understand it's not changing.
It's not as new, and new IPs are always going to have a better chance when they deliver. When they deliver something special and just a completely new experience, you're going to remember that more. Yeah, within the year.
Games like Breath of the Wild and Elden Ring have just a way of cementing themselves as something like really special. I think.
Yeah.
But I think so. It does look like it has Hades combat, but I think they'll change it up enough where it.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's the same, but with different gods and powers and everything like that. That's all I need. Like Hades already feels perfect in my opinion. I don't really want anything.
There's nothing that I would change about Hades.
It just feels amazing, and the story wise, I mean, it's hard to say whether it's going to be better, but I trust that studio to do it. Yeah, honestly, I'm surprised that this is what we got from Supergiant because they've never made a sequel. I don't think. I thought they made Bastion too, but they never did. So that's just the success of this game is why they did that.
Yeah.
Cole, what's your last one?
My last one is, let me look. Take a G-A-N-D-E-R. Diablo 4.
It's a good one.
I saw that one too.
I think this one is a front runner too, but it's also the top down game can be a turnoff for a lot of people. Like for me, for a long time, it was that way. Like I'm not gonna play Diablo. I'm not gonna play Divinity, and then I played Diablo 3 with you guys, and I was like, okay, this is fun as shit. Like it's you. Like for some people, it can be a turnoff, but this game looks amazing. Like the cinematic we saw at the Game Awards was awesome. The music is going to be awesome. They're already introducing some fan favorite character classes. It looks better. You know, it looks better every time.
Unreal Engine 5.
Yes,
it looks beautiful,
and it looks zoomed in a little bit, and like you can see your characters, and it's just.
I just like the change of scenery from 3 because 3 felt really dark to look at.
Yeah, it was muddy.
This one,
it's
but
been
this
over
one
a
looks
decade.
really clear. Like,
Yeah.
Yes.
good.
Oh, dude, the Unreal Engine did so much for this. Unreal
And getting a
Engine 5.
release date was awesome too.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, the argument for this game is that it's video game royalty. Diablo is. And we haven't had a new one in like over 10 years now. And this looks like Diablo 3, but like grown up. Like it all growed up.
And they also hyped up Diablo. They re-released Diablo 2 like remaster.
Yeah.
So I think they're build like they tried to do a mini
getting as many people.
They
in
tried
it
to do
as
a
they
mini
can.
Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah.
Where they tried to like hype people for it.
Yeah. If I hadn't seen you wrote this down, this is my number one.
We're just taking all your answers.
Yeah, I know. But I think this has the best chance of beating or Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
Gonna do it for a long time. Probably just always will. But yeah, I think it has the best chance of beating it. But if I'm arguing against it, Diablo Immortal was a fucking trash fire.
Oh, the mobile game?
Yes. And it showed that people at Blizzard, at least some of them, do not care about the customer. And
Yeah,
if
that's
that's
true.
what we're getting here, because the cinematics look beautiful. I mean, the gameplay looks good too. Everything we've seen looks good. But they're putting so much into the cinematics. I'm like, what if it's just like a really good, like graphic team that's just making it look so nice, and then it's just actually a hollow story or a hollow, mechanics.
That would suck,
I don't think that's what it's going to be. They know that this game, you can kill a franchise by doing that.
Yeah, really. Two bad games. Or not even bad games. Like Immortal could have been great. I don't know. I've never played it, but it's just like
No, everyone said it played amazing.
you get the reputation of being a cash grab.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna,
That's the problem. Is it was pay to win was the problem with that, and they got so much money off of that game. They made so much. Ridiculous. But I mean, that means they'll probably try and do something like that with Diablo 4. I don't know.
I hope not.
Maybe just a bunch of expansions. Hey, you
We
made a
have-
lot of money with 3 off of that.
But also, we have been pleasantly surprised in being wrong. Like
oh yeah,
EA is a great example. We did not
Coming
like
back
EA,
around,
and
yeah.
then they did Jedi Fallen Order. It was awesome. So
well, that's a good point. Xbox is going to have this franchise now, and Diablo Immortal was not with Xbox in. They didn't have any say in that. So surely they'll be like, no, don't bring that in, because Xbox doesn't want that rep on them. They've been pretty good about distancing themselves from that.
and they're trying to do. I don't know if it's like. I think partially it's because they are kind people, but I also think it's a marketing tactic.
Oh, yeah.
They're trying to be like, oh, we want everyone to play games together as friends. We don't care. And then like they posted, this is kind of a tangent, but they were like, PlayStation, Phil Spencer said PlayStation, I don't know, I didn't read the article, so I could be totally taken out of context, but he was like, PlayStation only wants to grow in making Xbox shrink.
I mean,
I was like, that's just because you got your feelings hurt. Because they,
I mean, that's not true. Like for them to grow, they kind of need Xbox to shrink. So
Well,
that's competition.
They need competition.
Yeah.
So, Merle, what's your last pick?
So my last pick is Alan Wake 2. Y'all took all my stuff.
That's a hipster pick.
Now, I'm not saying that like I don't back this up. I stand by this. But y'all took a couple of mine, and I had to go and just kind of peek through to make sure I wasn't missing anything. And I was like, holy crap, Alan Wake 2 did get a 2023 date. And that's niche, I know. But Remedy, one
good,
game of the year.
That's true. With
Not that long ago, And so
Which-
Alan Wake has a following from all of those years of being a cult classic.
It's an awesome concept.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's like Stephen King-ish, like
Yeah.
storytelling.
Yeah.
I really liked. I think you're right. I think it would be up there for sure if they nail it.
Yeah, and I think they will. I think they'll go a little more mainstream and not make it as much of a dark horror game. I think they're going to
more actiony.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you need to have the horror elements, but make it more like Dead Space. You know, I mean, that's terrifying, but you have more control over your fight. You know, I think that's what they'll do with it, and I think the story could be the best of next year. Honestly, I think that's the argument for it. The argument against it is it's niche.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, not that many people will play it compared to these other games. Yeah. And so that make you...
If it nails a release date, though, it could be. I mean, like, all it takes is it being in around no other game, and it'll blow up because people want that new thing to play.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really, the big argument against it is these outlets generally are going to pick the game that took more work to make. And not that this won't take some work, but Breath of the Wild is so big.
Yeah.
So, like, if I'm a reviewer that gets a vote, I'm probably going to pick the game that took, you know, forever to build this world and put all these quests into over the game that was like a 15-hour experience, you know? Like, I don't know. If it's a really good 15-hour experience, it's hard to knock it. I don't know. It's just how these things go. It'll get wins next year, though, if it comes out in something. I don't know what category that'd be, though. They don't do horror game. They need to do horror game.
It'd be action adventure, maybe.
Probably. Or narrative.
But... my last pick is Spider-Man 2. If it nails it, if it comes out next year, it has the potential to be. I mean,
it really does.
The first one's so good, and this one can only be better. Like gameplay, story.
Yeah, new villains.
Yeah. Having Miles with you and probably switching back between the two and having the story beats and that. They did all the groundwork in one of setting up this New York that they don't have to do that. They don't have to start up in this one and build out these characters because they're there. Like, you know, we've already seen them for 2 games now.
It's like Arkham City or Arkham Knight. Like,
I mean, if
everything.
it's that big of a leap, that would be.
And then,
Arkham City or no, I was thinking Arkham Asylum to Arkham City would be a crazy leap for this game.
Yeah,
but it's more like that.
But having Kraven the Hunter voiceover and then showing Venom at the end, like. That's 2 big villains right there, and then we could get Green Goblin because he's been teased too. Like, we could be getting really good story beats out of this. I think.
I think the argument for it is that Insomniac has built up so much goodwill, and it could be a Leo Dio situation where like they keep getting closer and closer, and they're not getting it, and then it's like we're giving it to them on this one. Like, you know, like eventually you get there. Even though this will be a lot better than the Revenant, I'm going to go ahead and say that. I don't know what the Revenant. But if they Revenant, I'm trying to think of a comparison in a game. Like, what's this? Honestly, it's Death Stranding, just a fucking slog across the fucking barren wasteland.
But I really want a good Venom story. I think that's what I'm looking forward to most. Is not getting it in Spider-Man 3 and. I know Venom 1 and 2 is out there, but they're not my Venom because I want Venom to be a villain. Yeah, like, that's what I want out of Venom is to be evil. Like at first,
don't be silly, man.
Yeah.
He's way too silly. That's why I want this game to have him be serious, scary Venom. But by the end of that game, I want to be playing as Venom.
Yeah.
Let me play as him for a mission or two.
I think it's going to be the Miles Morales. Like, so all this will happen, and then we'll get
a Venom game.
A Venom game.
That's a good idea.
What do you think happens? I really do think it's going to be a team up at the end to fight, you know, Green Goblin or someone.
Yeah, I do think Green Goblin's going to be the main villain.
Yeah, we'll have a lot of time to speculate. But I think there's 2 arguments against this game for me, and one, it's that like I don't think this game's going to do that much extra compared to like a Suicide Squad. Like if Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom is Breath of the Wild but better. And Spider-Man is Spider-Man, but better. Yeah, it's going to be Tears of the Kingdom, like because like at the end of the day, people respect Breath of the Wild just that much more than Spider-Man.
Well, that's been the biggest argument for Tears of the Kingdom. It's like, well, what are they going to do to make this map different than Breath of the Wild? Well, they're going up into the sky and they're going underground.
Yeah.
But what more can you do to New York to make that not feel like you've been there for 2 games?
I don't know. That's going to have some kind of like apocalyptic thing about it.
And
that night in that trailer kind of looked like
Miles was cool because they went the Christmas route and made it winter. So it changed it enough where I was like, this is really cool to see it like snowy and all that.
And it wasn't like
full-fledged
Spider-Man. Like it wasn't like Spider-Man like you would say like it's a 40-hour game and then Miles Morales is like a 20-hour
10
game.
hour. Yeah. If that. That's giving it credit.
Yeah. But the second argument is that it doesn't come out next year. This game still doesn't feel like it should be coming in 2023. I don't know why. It just feels like they showed 2 games that won E3 and they haven't shown any gameplay from either of them. So they're working on both of these games, but we don't really know what the gameplay looks like.
They said that Spider-Man 2 is still on par, like set to release. That doesn't mean jack shit, but I feel like they've nailed their release dates for the last. Like they haven't been the ones that pushed stuff
they're not
back.
CD Projekt Red.
They
There's
Ratchet
no reason
Clank,
to say it if it's not true.
Ratchet and Clank nailed its release date, and Spider-Man nailed its release date. So I think it has a chance next year.
I think there's a part of me that kind of wants it to be delayed just because I'm looking at this schedule and I'm like, it would do it better for me if it was the beginning of 2024 would be great.
2024, yeah.
Well, just comparative to this year, like next year is a bigger video game year.
Oh yeah,
all around.
Yeah. But right now,
if they don't space out games, like if it was like this year, then games are going to be left in the dust,
lost in the shuffle for sure.
Because this year was chaos with games coming out the same week. Like you have months of nothing, and then 2 or 3 games will come out the same day, and it's bullshit. Like to try to play these games.
Yeah, it's like how many Game Pass games? Like I've had a blast playing. Like if Nobody Saves the World came out next year, I would never played it, and it wouldn't. It wouldn't have been where I liked it.
Yeah, the beginning of this year kind of had a better flow than this
it
back
was something.
half.
Yeah.
At the beginning of next year looks rough though. There's so much like rough if you're a video game fan, but also like stressful to get to everything.
To it,
yeah.
Because
like,
time is
right
just
now is kind of stressful with everything. Callisto
in December,
Midnight Suns and everything.
And Final Fantasy reunion for me too.
Yeah,
and then High on Life is next weekend.
Yeah, that was the one I was going to.
Oh shoot, I forgot about that.
Yeah, but hopefully everything's stretched out well, and hopefully all of these games we talked about are great, and none of them come back to be garbage that we hyped up.
Clipped up.
Yeah, but I do think it'll be one of those 10 games.
It's gonna be me. It's gonna be Spider-Man 2 gets pushed, and it's just be like me. They don't move games.
That's what he did with the Gotham Knights. Yeah. He cut back to you saying, "I think this game is gonna be a 9." I think this game. I was like, "I think it's gonna be a 6."
Oh,
on the Fantasy Critic.
Yeah, but if I'm picking the 5 nominees, the ones we just said, it's obviously Legend of Zelda, Starfield. No, that's not safe though.
It's really not.
Spider-Man's there. Spider-Man,
Hades 2 is safe.
Diablo, and Hades 2.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take Starfield out and say Suicide Squad just for safety's sake.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Starfield could be one of those.
It's one of those
disappointment.
It's one of those that's taking a swing for sure. So
anyway, that's crazy that those are the 5. Like, there's not room for anything else.
But those 5 come out. It's such a good year.
Yeah.
I mean,
hell, if 3 of those come out, that's a great year.